Hello, digital art class. So you've completed your creature, and now it's time to figure out what to do with your environment for that creature. Here's my finished product. Here it is without the creature. I'm going to put that creature layer somewhere else for a minute. And this is my finished product. So I'm going to take you through all these steps right here. You can see I have a lot of different images mixed in with this environment that I created, right? So first things first, I just want to do a quick review about grouping versus just plain layers. So these are all the layers for my environment. I can put it in a little folder group. It's just kind of like a filing system for layers. By highlighting all the layers, I can hold Shift and click on the bottom one and then click on the top one. Or I can hold Command and click each layer. Going over to the line menu here on the right of the layers panel, also known as hamburger menu, and I'm going to choose group new group from layers. I'm going to call this landscape. All right, so that's in here for right now. I'm going to turn it off and we're going to start that whole thing again. So what I like to do is I like to have all my pictures open in each little tab. So this is a picture I took in Baltimore. My underwater scene is going to be based in Baltimore. This is an underwater mermaid, a mermaid that lives under the hidden city of Baltimore, excuse me. And if I click on this little arrow panel, I can see a bunch of different pictures that I've also saved in here, like so. Okay, so to get the base of my image, I'm going to use this part, the top part, as my background. Okay, so I'm going to select it using a rectangle marquee tool, or you can use your polygonal lasso tool, or you can use any of the quick selection tools. All right, selection tools are selection tools. You choose the one that works for you. All right, so I'm going to highlight this about there. That looks good. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come in here and paste it. So if you guys notice, I started out with a vertical canvas, and then I rotated it to landscape. How I did that, in case you need to do that, is you go up to Image, Canvas Size, and you can flip your sizes around. So I already did this ahead of time, but I realized that I actually wanted to make a landscape, not a portrait. So that might be an option for you if you also kind of change up your idea a little bit. So you can always change your canvas by going to, let's do that again, Image, Canvas Size, and then you can flip it around, and there you go. You can continue working. So I'm going to take my Move tool, and I definitely need to do some sizing here, so Command T for transform. I'm going to size it up a little bit. All right, looks good. That's the first step. The next step is going over to the hidden city, which I actually won't do right now. I'm going to take the beach sand, and I'm going to print that, do a selection of that. So I found a picture with some sand on it. Copy it. And this is a mixture of my own imagery and as well as like a couple images from the internet. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that, and I'm going to move it down here for just a second. And I'm going to make sure it lays down flat. So however you move through creating your space is up to you. Sometimes you just gotta, go in order and lay it down in like top to down, bottom. Sometimes you gotta lay the groundwork, which is right here, the ground, the sand of the ocean floor. So I'm gonna put that in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. I kind of have two eye levels, right, if you think about it, because I have the upper part of the water and then the lower part that's underwater. Okay, so let's do the next step. The next step is I'm going to take, where is it? I think it's right here. This water right here, where it kind of shows the top of the water and the bottom, and it's going to be kind of like we have an underwater camera. So I'm going to select just the part of the water I want. Copy, and this is where the magic happens with this layer. Paste. Command T to transform. All right, so my sand layer is behind, my my sand layer is in front of everything. I can't have that. So I'm going to push return. I'm going to drag my sand layer below everything because it should be below everything right now. And you can see that my, oops, I'll move that around. My water layer looks good. Now it's time to do some arranging adjustments and kind of playing around with it. So Command T for transform again. I'm going to do a little perspective here so it lays into the space. Bring this out a little bit. Distort. And I also might use a little bit of warp. So I got a lot of different things going on where I'm transforming a lot to make this work. So it's a lot of moving around. You might even use Liquify if that works for you. All these tools are just different paintbrushes for you guys to play around and create. Okay, so that looks pretty good. It's actually a little too big for me. I wanted it a little bit smaller, so let me stretch it out here. And we'll change the size. All right, so that looking pretty good. What I'm going to do next is I want the water to look like it's kind of fading in, and I'm going to probably have to do a couple size adjustments here. So let me just copy the water in to see what I'm getting at here. So I'm going to copy just a plain clear underwater piece here, image. I'm going to come in here and paste it in, transform it so it's big enough for this space, this whole space. Okay, now this is where we're going to have to do some magic erasing kind of thing, where it kind of mixes and matches in, alright? So I like to pick an eraser that is very soft. I turn down the hardness 100% down to 0. I change the opacity down. I also change the flow of the erasing down. This is going to help me blend and mix, okay? I'm also going to take this water layer that I create and I'm going to put it behind that layer, okay? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to erase out the upper part of this because I didn't need that. And see how it's nice and soft and kind of flowing, really good. Okay, that looks good. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to erase on the layer that's this watery mix right here. I'm going to just lightly kind of erase it out. See how it's kind of nice and soft and not going too extreme too quickly, just softly erasing it out. Looking good. Okay. And then on this layer, just like we did with the girl's face, we're going to use some filters to make it blend. So I'm going to take my layer where the water's kind of bubbling around on the top, and I'm going to go to multiply. That might be a good option. Color burn, darken. Let's see, screen. You guys have to pick a filter that's going to work for you, and it's going to take some practice to kind of feel around and get a feel for the filter. So which one was it? I think it was this one. Cool. Let's go in here, erase a little bit. Yeah. All right. So that is getting there a little bit, and I'm going to play around with this a little bit and clean it up a little bit more, stretching the water in a minute. The next step I want to do is I want to show you, let's put this on for a minute. I want to show you how to place your city in. So just let me turn this off for a minute, and we're going to get in and place the city. So I'm going to got a picture of Baltimore. It's this one. Nope. This one. There we go. So I'm going to select this little piece of Baltimore. I'm going to use the trees as seaweed because, you know, green is green in the water, so we can make it work for that. All right, let me place it in. Oh, I have one more thing I need to do. I actually need to put a filter on the water. Let's see, is it multiply? I think I did an overlay or multiply. Yeah, I was like that one. And I'm going to paste it in. Okay, move it down here so it looks like it's sitting in here. Let me go back to my water, and I'm going to erase out a little bit more. Okay, so I might even pull up this part of the city a little bit more, just to get a little bit more water in there. Okay, so now that my city's right there, I'm going to place it behind my water layer, so it looks like there's water going behind it. And we'll come up and play around the filters with that as well. You can play around with different filters. So let me just transform that. I'm going to make it go into its space. Alright. So I kind of have, it looks kind of rough now, but I'm going to stop the video right here and I'm going to come back. And I'm going to show you the next couple steps. We're almost done, alright? So stay tuned. Remember, you can just look at this video before I leave. You can just look at this video as a guide to kind of see different tools and make it your own way. You don't have to follow every step in here to the T like mine, alright? I'm just showing you different tools so you have different ways to create, alright? Stay tuned.